Good evening, Tavernites, and happy St. Patrick's Day to you. Of course, I am your illustrious host, Reverend Sergeant Tyler Randall, but today I'm using a slightly different moniker, former combat engineer Tyler Randall, because as we all know, or you should, St. Patrick's Day is the engineer birthday, combat engineer's birthday. That's why I got my little gold engineer pin. It's really nice. Also, St. Patrick, the patron saint of engineers. That's a little piece of knowledge that you have now. So, of course, I have my lucky and loaded koozie filled with Shiner Cheer. And in my whiskey glass, I have, Slane Irish Whiskey, Slane. It is triple casked in virgin oak, then sherry, and then another cask I don't remember. Very, very affordable, only $24, bottom shelf, screw top. But you know what? Delicious. Oh. Yeah, I know. Trying to cover it up. So, as the title may imply, yes, I was visited by federal agents today at my home. Angelo said, "What up with it, Playboy?" Dude, Angelo, come by the house, bro. By the time you get here, I'll be done with the podcast. You can smoke a stogie, drink some whiskey, have some beer, whatever. Whatever you feel like. Come on by, buddy. So today, and just in case you think I'm joking or it's some sort of prank or anything like that, this is the card. I'm going to cover up his contact info, but I don't care if you see his name. Special Agent Patrick Mays. That's right. That little gold shield you see there is for the Treasury Department of the United States. Tyler, have you not been paying your taxes, you might be thinking? Yes, I pay my taxes. As a matter of fact, I think I pay a little bit too much tax. I think we all do. Okay. Angelo's got daddy duty, unfortunately. Oh, well, I'll see you again, buddy. So I come home every day. I go check the mail. I open the front door and I see this card scotch taped to my front door, my wood front door, by the way. I used fucking scotch tape. And at first I thought, well, Michelle handles the taxes usually, so it's probably for her. It's probably something stupid. And then I thought to myself, it's a little weird. So I called his cell phone number. And the response, he didn't answer at first. And then he called me back about 10 minutes later. Okay. And he's like, "Is this Tyler Randall?" So immediately I knew it wasn't for our taxes. I said, "Yes." And I'm going to go into a long form, so I'm not going to give too much, I'm going to give the details, but I'm not going to lay it out because I've got screenshots. I've got Ring doorbell footage. I've got a timeline set up. And this is more of a teaser to give you guys context for that upcoming podcast, which I will do tomorrow after I have an event. There's a speaking engagement tomorrow that I'm going to in the morning with a neighbor of mine for the Constitutional Republicans of Sumner County. They have a TPUSA speaker and a female athlete who is going to be talking about, obviously, trans issues. Super cool stuff that I will also elaborate on later. But so long and the short of it is, in August of 2022, when the United States government announced that they were going to hire 87,000 more IRS agents, armed IRS agents, mind you, the tactical unit is going to be more robust so that they can go and kick doors on people that aren't paying their taxes, a la, a $600 transfer on PayPal that they want to know exactly what you spent your money on, things like that. I'm going to tie this together, by the way. So with what's happening now in the financial world, obviously. So he specifically said, "Do you remember making an Instagram post, blah, 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 blah?" And I said, "No. I'm on my third or fourth Instagram account." He said, "Well, some of the language used was a little strong, and we just need to make sure that nobody's in danger. Do you plan on hurting or threatening any IRS agent?" I said, "No, I didn't make any threats. I made a joke. It had a bunch of laughing and clown emojis underneath it, which is pretty obvious." He said, "Well, one of them you used the term target practice." And I said, "Yeah, if you saw that training video, you could plainly see that these people have not been tactically trained properly. And would be little less than cannon fodder for anybody with half a brain and any kind of training whatsoever. So I was very flippant with him. I was very short with him. I was very like, okay, and what are you going to do about it? Basically, he's like, well, we just need to make sure we check up on these. I'm like, well, it's been 6 months. So if I was going to do something, don't you think I would have done it by now? No answer. Just things like that, like just really vague. You own guns. We see pictures of, and by the way, this guy did no homework whatsoever, right? So Nashville actually has a field office for the Inspector General's office of the Department of Treasury. Okay, this guy is a special agent in the field investigating unit, which, by the way, if you read the field investigator's job description, it's to track down tax cheats. It's to actually investigate IRS agents who are committing malfeasance, waste, fraud, and abuse, and things like that. Not any of that. And also at the very bottom in one line it says, and also the protection of our agents and our agency. Ah, there it is. If there was any credible threat, they would have acted or moved on it immediately. Obviously, they're monitoring social media. I had tagged the IRS in the fucking post too, which is the most hilarious thing. So I tagged them in August, and it took them 6 months, 7 months almost 7 months to the day for them to scramble somebody who lived 20 miles away and say, you might want to check on this. It's an HVE. And I made sure I used the right terminology with him. I was like, I'm not a homegrown violent extremist, bro. I went to school for that. I know what the jig is. He has no authority to give me a ticket. He has no authority to arrest me. Free speech is free speech, and I made no threats whatsoever, veiled or otherwise. I'm just saying that these people look poorly trained, and I said and anybody with half a mind would be able to take them down. That's all I was saying, which is a pretty good advice. Maybe don't release a video of a bunch of what clearly are diversity hires, just obese people, people in wheelchairs, people who've never handled a gun before, going into a multi-purpose room and just with a rubber gun being like, federal agent, like their voice not above, yelling, federal agents, okay, put your hands up, and the guy's just complying completely. Like that's not how a tactical situation goes like that whatsoever. So it's good to know that I'm still on a watch list of some kind. I was beginning to think that my Fed wasn't monitoring me. I'm like, this guy didn't even look like it must have taken him this long to find my address, because there's got to be like 10 or 20 Tyler Randalls in Nashville, greater Nashville area. Like it obviously was not a priority for them, but they'll come and scotch tape a fucking card to my wood door, which took me a lot longer than I wanted to get the damn tape off my damn door. But that being said, what is it? What do you mean, Tyler? What does this have to do with anything? Well, other than me being harassed by the federal government, or maybe not the federal government, maybe just a rogue agent, and he had a person with him too. He had a female with him who was wearing an oversized windbreaker. Her hair was everywhere. She was holding a clipboard. Hopefully they were screenshots. That would be great if they printed out my memes to show them to me. I would absolutely have relished that. I would have loved to have that on video. I almost wish I had asked for a face-to-face meeting. But I digress. So right now, what do we have? We have like five banks in the United States have basically had a run done on them and defaulted. Wells Fargo's stock is dropping, and they're going, no crisis here, no problem. In the Asian market, Tokyo, their friggin' markets are dropping. Their banks are in trouble. Looks like somebody printed too much money. And by the way, this isn't just inflation. This is guys that are in hedge funds who have a bunch of what do they call it? They have some sort of fucking bonds in banks. They see the freaking trouble on the horizon, and they're locked in for 10 years. So basically, what they do is they engineer a run on the bank. So they get a bunch. They tweet a bunch of stuff. They start telling their buddies to start engineering a run on the bank, so that if they collapse, they get bailed out. So they don't have to have their money held for 10 years and some 2% bond for fucking 10 years. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. And by the way, my knowledge is very limited on this, and I might be saying the words incorrectly, but just listening to some of the conspiracy theories out there, because that's what I do. I listen to the conspiracy theories so you don't have to. It's so amazing how easily our market is manipulated by BlackRock and by all these guys. I know everybody's buzzword, BlackRock. Oh, but it's these guys that run the hedge funds that run the world. They have all the influence. You know what I mean? They run everything. So when it was time for the bank to fall, the bank fell. And they're not left holding the bag. They're going to get reimbursed. The Fed tripped over themselves to say, don't worry, FDIC doesn't matter. We're going to just reimburse anything anybody had. Yeah, we know that all the board members cashed out their stock a week or a month or whatever before. Doesn't matter. We're going to bail everybody out. Smells a little bit like 2008, except worse. It's not just the housing market. It's the banks. It's the banks themselves. So instead of investigating that, instead of investigating the billions with a B, billions of dollars in COVID relief money that went missing that they can't find, instead of finding actual tax cheats, instead of finding drug cartels, instead of doing all these other things, they're going to send a special agent to my home over an Instagram post from 6 months ago. Think about it. I'm a nobody. I pay my taxes. He even asked me, he's like, you haven't been in trouble with the law, have you? I'm like, I don't know. You tell me, bro. You're federal law enforcement. Not even federal law enforcement. He has no authority to give me a fucking anything. Couldn't have arrested me if he wanted to. He's got nothing on me. And I cooperated because I'm not a complete asshole. If I wanted, because honestly, the government's a bigger dick than I am, okay? And they'll screw you. And I've got some stuff in the works that I don't really want to mess up right now. So it's just, I'm flabbergasted. Not since, and this has been, oh my God, since I was 13, 14 years old. I'm 35, so 20 years or so. A little bit over 20 years since the last time the federal government did something like this to me. And you know what it was? They revoked my library card. Back pre-internet, pre-social media, I would ride my bike in Simi Valley down Erringer to the local library, and it had to be a few miles. So I'd check out books on criminology. I was checking out books on psychology, but I checked out the wrong combination of books. And this is all like in a post-Columbine world, right? Or either post-Columbine or just right after that. So if you've ever seen the movie Seven, you know how they caught the guy, right? They looked up anybody that had checked out Dante's Inferno and Paradise Lost, and they cross-referenced it, and the FBI begrudgingly gave it to his buddy as a favor because Morgan Freeman's character was retiring. So he says, yeah, we keep data on the stuff that people check out at libraries. Shocker. They're keeping tabs on you? They're monitoring your social media posts? They're flagging things that you say on the phone? I mean, look what Obama did with telecommunications. They were listening to everybody's texts, phone calls, flagging words. You ever seen the TV show The Wire? That's not the point. The point is, they revoked my library card because I checked out the wrong books, because I was learning outside of the school system. Dangerous. Apparently, I've always been dangerous, but it's only dangerous to those that wish to be tyrants. And that's what it always comes back to with these little spiels. I'm gonna let you go here in a minute because my phone's gonna die, but I just had to get this out. I had to come out, smoke a cigar, chill the F out. Oh yeah, so good. Drink some Irish whiskey and let you guys know it's coming in the pipeline. I know I'm intermittent with the podcast. I'm not on it every day. I'm not every week. I wish I could. My job is currently not in a place where I can do that. But when something happens like this, oh man, I'm going to go extra hard. I'm going to go extra hard on these guys. His name was Patrick Mays. Dude, this guy is the stupid. It's so stupid. So stupid. And I'm stupid, obviously. And that's why this happened to me. So I will bid you a happy St. Patrick's Day. Bid you adieu. Have a good night. See you next time, Tavernites. Peace. Oh, yeah. And fuck the feds.